YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders' updated playoff chances after the loss to the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to check out the Top of the Morning Show podcast that will be returning soon. Thank you so much. Well, again, guys, we're on the road to 5K, and we're ever so close. So please hit that subscribe button now. Let's get straight into today's video. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Commanders, as they enter week 16 now, they still sit in a predicament where they can make the playoffs. Now, I know a lot of people jumped off of the bandwagon on Sunday Night Football after the loss, and it wasn't necessarily the loss that gave a lot of people, lost a lot of people. It was kind of the way we lost. We already discussed that the team didn't look prepared. We didn't look like we wanted it. The Giants clearly wanted it more. So I really think it was more so of how we lost and not that we lost, which gave a lot of people, lost hope that we can make the playoffs. But I'm here to tell you guys today that we still have a chance to make the playoffs. So what I'm going to do is do what I normally do at these past couple weeks, is break down the playoff scenario for you guys, how the Washington Commanders can get in, because we obviously want that to be the one of the goals. We want that to be one of the goals here. Make the playoffs. Obviously, we want to hopefully win a game, and then God knows, hopefully we can win it all, right? But we got to take it one step at a time. Yes, Washington still can get into the playoffs, but now it's kind of a little bit of a different approach now that we lost instead of winning and being 8-5-1 right now. But again, you're gonna be like, one, it's not that different, because I mean the same overall note still stands. But we'll get into that. I'll show you guys the NFC playoff picture first, and then we'll take over a look at the 538 website that actually breaks down the percentages chances of the Washington Commanders making the playoffs. All right, so let's go ahead and go ahead and load this up here and go ahead and show you guys the NFC playoff picture right here. Let's go full screen on that. So as you guys can see, obviously, on your screen, you scroll to the top here. Not much has changed at the top. Okay, the Eagles are 13-1 right now. They're on their way to clinching the 1 seed. Okay, and home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. The Vikings are not catching them. They're essentially 3 games behind the Eagles, pretty much, because they're 2 games behind them, and then they already had lost their head-to-head matchup. So they're essentially 3 games behind the Eagles, and they're not catching them. Okay, unless the Eagles just lose out and Jalen Hurts isn't healthy, right? But I don't see that happening. The Eagles, they're going to clinch the number 1 seed. And then you go down to the number 2 seed, the Vikings, 11-3. A lot of people don't believe in the Vikings. A lot of the Vikings fans don't believe in the Vikings, because after the poor performance that they had versus the Colts, but they came back, which is a testament to their whole season, really, is because they've been a comeback king, right? They've been a close team winning king, right? And they've given their fan base a heart attack all year long. However, it just seems like when the game is in the balance, this team is dangerous and they always find a way to win. So on one hand, you can say they're fluke and they're frauds and they won't make it far in the playoffs. But on the other hand, you can say, hey, man, if they get in the playoffs and it's a 1-score game, you got to believe that the Vikings are going to pull it out. So they're the number 2 seed, and they're pretty much, controlling their own destiny in that 2 seed. If they want to remain there, all they got to do is win out, right? And then the 49ers, 10-4 and first in the West. They already won the NFC West. So right now they're just, jockeying for position, trying to move up and possibly get that 2 seed from the Vikings. But they got the NFC West pretty much locked up. So their playoff spot is already secured. The highest they can go is the 2. Again, unless the Eagles pretty much just lose out, which I don't see that happening. The highest they can go is the 2 seed. And they got a big matchup versus the Commanders on Saturday, Christmas Eve. And then the Cowboys, rather, they are the 5th seed. That loss to the Jaguars pretty much kind of put a nail in the coffin for their NFC East hopes, really. Again, like I said, unless they beat the Eagles this Saturday, and then the Eagles go on to lose out, and then they win out, and then they win 13-4. Then that's the way the Cowboys could possibly win the NFC East. But more likely than not, that will not happen. They're going to have the 5th seed. They already clinched the playoff berth. And I don't see them moving up pretty much at all. They control the top wild card spot. And then now you go down to the fourth seed, or rather, actually, they're missing the fourth seed. I don't know why the NFL's website is like this, but the fourth seed is the obviously the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're still one of the first in the NFC South, even though they're sitting at 6-8. And because of Carolina couldn't take care of business this past Sunday, they're still remaining the one seed. And then now you got the sixth seed, the New York Giants. They are 8-5-1 after the big win over the Washington Commanders on Saturday Night Football. They're 8-5, and they pretty much just need one more win, and they're booking their trip to the playoffs. So they're the sixth seed, and then here it goes up down here at the seventh seed. Okay, so the wheels are not completely off, ladies and gentlemen, for the Washington Commanders season. Yes, we took a huge loss versus the New York Giants, but we're currently 7-6-1. And again, we have a big game versus the 49ers this Sunday. A game that's even more bigger than the New York Giants game, because we have to have this one. Okay, we must win this game. But now, well, we said 7-6-1. We got to look at some of the teams that are behind us, because if we slip up, these two teams right here, the Seahawks and the Lions, they are right on our tail. Now, the Seahawks, they're not much of a threat to me. I don't see them beating the Chiefs this Sunday. And the Lions are the team that's really much, really the one that scares me the most, because they are 7-7 and they're hot. They're probably the hottest team in football right now. And not to mention, they already have the tiebreaker over us, or the season win over us. So that gives them an advantage. So if we slip up, they go to 8-7, and we go to 7-7-1. They are obviously going to get that 7th seed. So we now got a lot of pressure on us. Okay, we're now the underdogs. We're no longer going to get favored like that again. So we got to win. Okay, and the same note again, like I said, still stands. Okay, yes, the Washington Commanders took a big loss on Sunday Night Football, but if Washington wants to get into the playoffs, we still hold our own destiny. Okay, we still control where we want to go with this season, because all we have to do is win. Now, again, it's going to be a hard test. Let me go ahead and bring myself back up here in the big screen. Here I am. So yes, the Washington Commanders, they took a big loss back, on Sunday Night Football. However, they still control everything they want. They can control as far as winning. If they want to go to the playoffs, all they got to do is win out. Okay, in my opinion, at least. I know people keep saying, yeah, they can win one, they can lose one of the last three, and they'll still have possibly get in. I'm not looking at it like that. If we want to get in the playoffs now, we have to win out. Simple as that. Okay, and Washington, I feel like this team, the Giants' loss is pretty much going to wake them up. Okay, I'm not going to say they got overhyped and start to overlook the Giants, but I feel like the Sunday's loss could possibly be more humbling, to the coaching staff, and allow them to, really reassess where they need to go if this team wants to make the playoffs. So I think Washington still sits in a spot where if they want to make the playoffs, again, they can control what they can control. It's not in nobody else's hand, because again, yes, the Lions are a threat. Seattle is a threat, but not if you win. If you win, go to 8-6-1. They can't catch you if they don't finish with more wins than you. So it doesn't matter if the Lions finish the season, 10-7. If you finish the season 11-6-1, you're in the playoffs. Or if they finish the season 9-8 and you finish the season 10-7-1 or whatever, or not 10-7-1, 10-7-1, they can't really do nothing. Or 10-6-1. Sorry about that. And then if you finish the season, 9-7-1, they can't do nothing about it, because that one tie will help you out, right? So it's a magnitude of things, and that's where the one loss comes in. And a lot of people saying Washington can lose one more game. I don't want it to be like that. I don't think it should be like that. The mindset should be one game at a time. We got to win all of these games. If we want to win, if we want to make the playoffs, we got to win out. Simple as that. And we got a big test versus the 49ers, probably the one of the hottest teams in football behind the Lions. That team is amazing. That defense is amazing. So we got a big test. But now let's go ahead and pull up the other screen here, where it's going to basically break down our playoff chances. So let's go ahead and make this for you guys again. So this is the playoff chance for the Washington Commanders and just the whole NFL. So you see the Commanders down here. I'll highlight them right here. They're currently 7-6-1, right? And they sit with a 35% chance of making the playoffs after the Sunday's loss versus the Giants. But let's just say Washington goes on the road and upset the 49ers. Okay, their chances then increase to a 66% chance of making the playoffs. And let's just say the Lions have a slip up and then they lose to Carolina. Okay, their chances then go to 11% chance, and on ours creep up to 76% chance of making the playoffs. Right. So again, like I said, Washington just control what they can control, right? You no longer need to worry about the Giants because you can't overleap the Giants anymore. They're 8-5-1. They have the season series over you pretty much, right? So you can no longer worry about the Giants. All you can do is can control what you can control, and that's winning. So if Washington goes on the road to beat the 49ers, and then let's say they come back home and then they beat the Cleveland Browns, they have a 97% chance to make the playoffs. It pretty much shot up, right? And then let's just happen to say Washington loses to Dallas on the last game of the season, right? If Washington loses to Dallas on the last game of the season, then that means they still have a 95% chance they're the plus. Now, again, I haven't touched the Lions yet, so let's go ahead and touch the Lions. Let's say they beat Chicago, and then their chances then increase back up to an 8%. Let's say they beat Chicago, but then let's just say they also beat Green Bay. Then they beat Green Bay, and Washington chance is still a 96% chance because again, look, Washington finished the season 9-7-1. Detroit finished the season 9-8. So more so than anything, Detroit has to lose out. I mean, have to win out if they want to make the playoffs, right? Even with that tie, even with that win over us, they still have to win out if they want to make the playoffs. Now, I haven't touched Seattle. Let's go ahead and go to Seattle. I don't see them being Kansas City. New Jersey or New York, sorry, they're derailing, but I could definitely still see them pull out the win. But let's give Seattle that win, and then let's go ahead and give Seattle the win over the Rams. Okay, so then they're 9-8. Okay, Detroit's 9-8, but then look at our team. We're 9-7-1. So we're in the playoffs. So literally, that's where a lot of people were saying, yeah, we could lose one more. I personally want to look at it like, yeah, well, let's go ahead and try to win all three and not put ourselves in a predicament where we have to superly rely on other teams to lose. And instead, right now, we're still sitting in a predicament where we can control our own destiny. All we have to do is win. Simple as that. So let me go ahead and bring myself back up here. That is the playoff bracket. I hope you guys understand it. Hopefully that made it clear for you. Now let's go some quick injury news. Benjamin St. Juste, he said he'll play on Saturday. That's huge. We need him back. We know we need him back more than anything, especially this week with Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and all those weapons over there. No Deebo Samuel, but they still have a ton of weapons. Christian McCaffrey. We need Benjamin St. Juste back. Chase Young, I'm done watching Chase Young this year, really. I don't have no words on him. He pretty much just said he had a good practice today and he's taking it day by day. That's all I have for you with Chase Young. If he's out there, he's out there. If not, I'm really done with Chase Young this year as far as, watching him and saying, oh, this is the week he comes back. I'm done with it. Okay, if he comes back, he comes back. If not, see you next year. But that's the playoff breakdown for you guys in full effect. Let me know what you guys think about it, and what do you think about the Washington Commanders' chances to make the playoffs? As always, it's me, boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Help to Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you pop, get you driving.